rivals and hold dueling swing state events. Harris takes aim at Trump and Project 2025. Much like the Wisconsin rally earlier today, draws a sharp contrast between her and she outlines her vision of affordable housing and childcare and an economy where every has an opportunity to own a home and to start a business. Once again, she says that her campaign is that of joyful warriors. Unlike "I will always put the middle class and working families first," says. She asks the crowd to check out Project 2025, a policy proposal by conservative think tank The Which calls a plan to weaken middle class that will be enacted if is elected. Harris reflects on a so far eventful week on the campaign trail. "This has been a big week," says. She recounts that on she officially became the nominee for president. On she announced as her running mate. As you've just heard, he has an incredible record as the governor of the great state of says. She calls him a serious leader who loves our country, telling the crowd that they will soon get to know him better. Harris shouts out and union workers. Harris starts by saying that will be the most incredible vice president. She then shouts out thanking her for her friendship, sisterhood, and leadership. Harris also gives a nod to the union, which has endorsed Harris for president. "That has always worked to lift up the working people of our nation," she says, adding that she is proud to have them by her side. Walz introduces as the next president of the states. Harris walks out to roaring applause as the song by plays in the background, a track that has been frequently used at her campaign stops. "Good evening," she says as she greets the crowd, which continues to cheer for her. Walz says it will be a hard race but urges voters to show up. "Donald Trump doesn't know the first thing about service," tells the crowd. "He mocks our laws. He sows chaos and division amongst the public," Walz says. Walz then criticizes handling of the COVID-19 pandemic and takes aim at his legal troubles. Walz later says that he knows it will be a hard race between his campaign and that of, but he urges supporters to not let the election outcome be so close that these guys have anything to say, appearing to allude to Trump's unverified claims of election fraud after his loss in 2020. "Let's just win the damn thing by a broader margin," says. Walz says his last 24 hours have been interesting. "It has been an interesting 24 hours for me, I have to be honest," Walz says, adding he cannot explain how it felt to walk out to supporters and on after he was chosen as the vice presidential pick, or to supporters in earlier today and now in. He says he was told that the rally is the largest of the campaign. Walz then repeats some of the points he made at earlier campaign stops, praising as someone who emanates joy. He also runs through his credentials, telling the crowd that he served in was a teacher and a high school football coach. Michigan's Whitmer is at the rally, where she is speaking to the crowd ahead of the candidate's appearance. She says she is fired up to elect as the next president and adds that she is excited for our next vice president. She encourages supporters to get loud and excited before take the stage. Whitmer also takes aim at saying that this election features two very different candidates. One is a prosecutor, the other is a convicted felon, she says, repeating an oft-used talking point by Democrats on the campaign trail. To a cheering crowd, President Sean says the presidential election boils down to one question: side are you on? He told listeners that has stood for the rights of auto workers and walks the talk, calling her a champion for the working class. The has formally endorsed bid for president and reiterates the union's support by applauding her selection of her newly appointed running mate, saying to the crowd, a proud union member, he's one of us. It's a packed house here at the Harris-Walz campaign rally in Detroit, Michigan, and the room is energized as the Cr.